Hello everybody, this is Uppish, and I've got something new to talk about today. Aunt Jemima is dead!
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Now, what do I mean? You're probably thinking, what do I mean by Aunt Jemima is dead? The freaking the crazy people have killed Aunt Jemima! Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, even though it's been a long time since I've had Aunt Jemima, in my own personal opinion, Aunt Jemima was one of, if not the best, freaking syrup you could get your hands on. I'm not even kidding about this. It was delicious. Seriously. Aunt Jemima, not just to me, but to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of normal American people, loved Aunt Jemima. Believe it or not, nobody thought of Aunt Jemima as anything bad. We didn't care about anything we didn't care about anything that might have been considered controversial when it came down to, like, Aunt Jemima's past. Nobody did, not even black people. If you look it up online, like, there have already been a bunch of black people getting angry about the fact that they're changing the face and name of Aunt Jemima. Okay, let us start out with this. What is Aunt Jemima? Aunt Jemima is basically a breakfast brand. Aunt Jemima is a brand name for a certain easy, quick-rising pancake waffle mix, as well as maple syrup, pancake syrup. And basically, this company, this brand name, the Aunt Jemima brand name, has been a thing since the freaking 30s, guys. The 30s. And now guess what? The SJWs, feminist types, the crazy freaking people that are trying to erase the past are now going after freaking Aunt Jemima. I'm going to tell you guys the origins of Aunt Jemima. Understand this. This is the past. This stuff that I'm about to tell you, this is stuff that was common in the United States back in the 20s and 30s. So, basically, Aunt Jemima was a company that was started by a white guy. By the way, you can look up a lot of this stuff and figure some stuff on your own. But basically, Aunt Jemima was started by a white dude who had went to basically, like, I think it was like black lady strip shows, or like it was what was it? Like black lady dance houses or something like that, or brothels. I'm not too sure. It's something like that. This guy started up this brand for pancake mix, and he started looking for people that could basically get this brand. He was like basically looking for people to be the face of the brand. The first person to be named as the face of the brand, was this woman by the name of, the person that was made the face of basically Aunt Jemima was a woman by the name of Nancy Green. Oh, and also, before I continue, correction, guys, correction. Believe it or not, the Aunt Jemima brand has been a thing since the 1880s, 1890s. Over 130 years, guys. So, you know what that means? That literally means, like, this thing is as old as it is. Pretty much, this is one of the oldest it can get for this kind of, for breakfast brands. Basically, the name Aunt Jemima comes from an old, basically black person stereotype. Big lips, wearing a bandana around your head, big black lady stereotype from the slave days. By the time that this that it was fully developed. The brand name was fully developed. It was around the 1920s, 1930s, and the woman named Nancy Green became the face of Aunt Jemima. What people don't understand about the person Aunt Jemima, Nancy Green was a slave. She was freed from slavery, and afterwards, guess what happened when she became the face of this company? Nancy Green basically became a millionaire, if not a billionaire. This woman's face, everybody in America to this day, almost everybody in America knows and has known it since Nancy Green became the face of Aunt Jemima. That is one of the big reasons, if not like the second or even most big, like, reason why the brand became so huge. Because back then, even in the early to mid 1900s, there were very, very, very few black people, like, on anything. I'm not even kidding. There was barely any black people on any branding. And Nancy Green, her face was put on one of them, and they became one of, if not the biggest freaking, like, brand names for a product in America. White people, black people, even other people, Mexican people, I'm pretty sure even Indian people use it. Maybe even Native American people use it. Literally one of, if not the most famous freaking, like, breakfast brand names you could buy. And it was mostly because of the face on the bottle or on the package. That face, or at least the old face, where the face is a lot bigger, and with the bandana on it, that was Nancy Green. That was like directly pulled from her likeness. However, over time, because of controversial things, controversial subjects, her face was changed. The face on the bottle was changed from what her actual likeness was to this modern look where she's like thinned down, which, while, yeah, it fits modern standards, back then, like, there were people that looked like that. People don't understand this. That there's even to this day, there's black people that look like that. And it's not over exaggerated either. They're not like blackface. Their lips aren't like absolutely freaking huge. People looked like that. There were a lot of black people that looked like that. A lot of black women, because they ate hearty for the time. Strangely enough, this woman, Nancy Green, she came from slavery. She was born into slavery. She got out of slavery, and then she literally became millionaire, if not billionaire. And by the time she died, she left a mark on the United States, a great big mark. And guess what? That face, no one could hate that face. That is a sweet face. That makes you think, such a sweet old lady. That's such a sweet old lady. She's helping people out, making them pancakes. Who could hate that? I couldn't. I love that. Look at that sweet face there. Look at that. That's not the face of something racist. That's not the face of something sexist. That's just the face of a sweet old lady. And now look at what they're doing. They're taking her face. They've already taken, like, her likeness off the package once. And now they're just gonna get rid of her name entirely. Do they not understand the consequences of this? If they take away the branding of this company will likely have far less sales than they would normally. Because the face of Nancy Green, or just having a black woman's face like that, this has been what the brand is. The face of a kind old black lady on the face of this syrup bottle or this pancake mix. It's just this sweet old lady's face, okay? And the fact that they're doing this will cause their sales to plummet. Just because, who can resist buying a bottle of syrup with the face of just a sweet-looking, happy old black lady on it? Or not even, it doesn't even matter that she's black. Like, the fact that she's just a sweet old lady on the face of this syrup bottle or on the face of this pancake mix. Who can help not enjoying a pancake from a box from a brand with the face of just a sweet old lady on it? That to me is beautiful. That is simple. That is simple happiness at its finest. And it's great. It tastes great too. The pancake mix, the syrup, it tastes great. And it tastes even better when you see that face on the bottle or on the box. And now, just look at it. Just, wow. Why are they doing this? I have no idea. But you know what's even worse that's going on? Not only did they kill Aunt Jemima, they're also killing Miss Butterworth, and they're killing Uncle Ben. I'll be honest, I liked Uncle Ben's rice almost as much, or even just as much as I like Aunt Jemima's pancake mix and syrups. And then they're going after Cracker Jacks. Freaking Cracker Jacks. Oh my gosh. This was my most favorite snack as a child. That and freaking animal crackers. I loved Cracker Jacks. And to this day, even though I haven't had a box of it in years, I loved Cracker Jacks for the taste. And now they're changing the branding on that. For what? Racist stereotype? Like, seriously. The 1800s all the way up to the mid-1900s, like right around the 1950s, was that, like, it was just normal to be racist back then. And all these people are doing is erasing these brand names.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more!
Yes, they do have a history to relate to racism, but in the end they weren't racist, and believe it or not, these names were actually comical. I mean, they're not horrible names. Cracker Jacks? I'm white. I'm white as it can get, like I said in the last rant. I'm white as it gets. I am pale as a fudging ghost. I'm white. And, like, I don't care. I don't care if you call me a cracker. If anything, I'll just laugh straight in your freaking face. You know why? Because it's funny. It's funny. It's more funny than a cruel joke or an insult. And getting rid of these names, these companies, brands, all this does is hurt the company. It won't help the company in the slightest. And the fact that they're bending a knee to these crazy freaking people, accusing it of being, like, outright racist? No. If anything, you're insulting the people that the faces of these companies might have been using. You know why? Because Aunt Jemima was an amazing brand. An amazing brand. Same with Uncle Ben. Same with Mrs. Butterworth. Same with Cracker Jacks. That is why. And the fact that people are trying to get rid of these brand names and the companies that own these brands are bending the knee to these douchebags, to these horrible people that know nothing. They know nothing of the past. They know nothing of the people that lived in these pasts. They know nothing of the people that these brand names use the faces of. They know nothing of history, and they're trying to erase history. This is not okay. This should not be allowed. You should not be allowed to erase history. Breaking statues, breaking veteran monuments, getting the faces of centuries upon centuries old brand names that have lasted since their inceptions. It's not okay. None of it's okay. And all this does is hurt not just the company themselves, but the industries. And not only that, but did you know There are actually communities around the United States that rely on these brand names for, like, their popularity and income. Like, there's places in Illinois, Kentucky, Texas. There are places all around the country that get their popularity. They get tourists from just having these brand names, like being the hometown of the people that had died, whose faces were put on these brand names. Those people, their hometowns, get popularity and tourists simply so that people can come and view their headstones. This will harm these communities. These will harm these small towns. And that is not okay. That is never okay. People need to think about the repercussions of their actions. And that's not what these crazy people are doing. All these people are doing is raging out about past racism. Guess what? Racism was a normal thing. All this is going to do is hurt the economy and hurt these little communities that rely on these things. And there we go. So many people's favorite companies' brand names gone. And guess what? The companies will die as a result. Thank you, SJWs. Thank you, you crazy freaking feminists. Thank you for causing more problems than there already was. When there really wasn't any problems to be had to begin, at this point. Anyways, let me know. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Crazy freaking people. Honestly. I really hope these people get caught and sued. Honestly.